Hi everybody, this is Dan Talks Sense, and today we're doing a full review of the brand new Cedrat Boise Intense. Now this is an extrait version of the original Cedrat Boise, which was an EDP, and this is probably one of the most well-known niche fragrances out there. So in today's review I'm going to compare this to its original. I'm going to tell you about its performance, projection, and whether it's living up to the excitement that it's currently getting in FragCom. So if you want to know more about this version of Cedrat Boise, then please stay tuned. Welcome back. Now I firstly just want to apologise that I haven't done any content for a while. I've had a lot going on outside of my YouTube channel, but I'm really pleased to be back to give you my thoughts on the intense version of Cedrat Boise. Cedrat Boise is one of my favourite fragrances. It is sort of a gateway to niche perfumery because of its price point. You could probably pick up a 60ml bottle for about 50 to 60 pounds on Latino. From time to time they do good discounts. And this for me is really good performing, good projecting fragrance. I do get the comparisons with Aventus because of that nice citrus at the top and muskiness in the base, but for me this is a fragrance which has really beautiful floral notes, nice woody notes, and whenever I've wore this and I've asked people for their opinions on it and what they get from the fragrance, people generally say you smell really nice and woody, so that's what people pick up from Cedrat Boise. I love the fragrance, so I was really excited when I heard that there was an intense version, because to me this is really well performing anyway. So I was intrigued to know what they'd done with the intense version to make it intense. Now I'm on a fragrance group called FragCom UK. I'm also on one called Certified Scent Sellers UK. Really good members in there. And one of the members, Joven Lee, said that he could get his hands on the new intense version. And I asked Joven if I could get the last 5 or 10 mils in the bottle and I could do a quick review of it. He's a really good member. I bought loads of samples and partials off Joven, and he sent it me, and it just arrived today. So on Saturday morning. I'm really excited. I just had a quick sniff of it, and it made me feel quite excited. So what I'm going to do in this review is I'm going to do a close-up of the presentation. There is only a tiny weeny bit left in there, but there's enough to get an idea of what the fragrance is about. Then I'll go through a note breakdown, then I'll do my first impressions, and then I'm going to do a bit of a diary. When I go into town I need to do a bit of Christmas shopping, and I'll let you know how it's developing on my skin. So if that kind of thing would interest you, then stay with me and we'll go to the presentation. So guys, just do a quick close-up of the presentation. I'll put it alongside the original Cedrat Boise. The new intense version has intense written there in gold on the sticker. The lids are also slightly different. The original has just the M on the top, and the new one has a nice design on the top. If I just show you close up, just show you how much I've got left in there. Only about 5 or 6 mils left in there, but that'll be enough to get an idea of what the fragrance smells like. So the original was launched in 2011, and the top notes in this one were lemon, blackcurrant, bergamot, with some spicy notes, fruity notes in the middle with patchouli, jasmine, we had some cedar leather, sandalwood, vanilla in the base. The only difference with the new version is the addition of some oud. So guys, by looking at the note breakdown, the only notable thing for me is the addition of some oud into the base. So maybe to give it a bit of a backbone, a bit of more substance to it, but we'll see how we get on with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one spray on my left wrist of the original EDP version of Cedrat Boise, just so I can compare the openings, and then I'll do the intense version on the other wrist. So that's on my left wrist, and then this is the new Extrait de Parfum version of Cedrat Boise on my right. Okay. Now, what I noticed when I first spray them on is that the original EDP smells a lot more synthetic when you first spray it on, and the newer version, although it's called Intense, seems to be a bit more reined in. and a bit more, I would say, better blended. That's my initial impressions. So very similar in terms of scent, but on the original, on the instant opening, a hell of a lot more synthetic with the original. Newer version seems a bit more smoother. It seems to me like better blended. That's all I can say on the original. Same smell, but a little bit different in quality, I'd say. It smells a little bit of a higher quality. But what we'll do is we'll see how it develops on my skin. I'm going to do a bit of a diary as I go through the day to see how it changes and if it's similar to the original and if it performs better. We'll see how we get on, okay? So guys, I just want to reassure you that I do spray my neck as well. So here's the intense version before I go to the shops. On the neck, one on the back of the neck, and a couple on the jumpers. And I've only got a drop, maybe about 3 or 4 mils left in there now. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to head to the shops, see if it performs and everything else. But so far, I'd say a little bit underwhelmed with it. It's a better blended version. It's a bit more woodier, and I pick up a little bit more of the vanilla, but not as excited as I was when I first smelled it, when I got it out of the box. Now I've sprayed it on my skin. It's, to me, I don't think it's going to be a super projecting fragrance, but we'll see how we get on with it. We're in typical miserable British weather with the rain. I'm in the part of Telfical Manninsley. But what I would say is with this intense version, the woody notes start to come through. I could smell lovely blackberry at the top. So it started to get its character together, and I'm starting to get a little bit more optimistic about the fragrance. I feel that it's a little bit more creamier than the original Cedrat Boise, creamier and woodier so far. But the most important thing to see is how the performance and projection is, how long it lasts. So we'll see how we get on with it. I've been wearing Cedrat Boise Intense for the duration of the day. I'd say about 6 hours now. It's a decent smelling fragrance. I'd say they've added a touch more spiciness to it, a little bit more smokiness to it, only a touch. I get more woods in this one compared to the original, although a lot of people will comment on the original and say that I smell woody when I wear it. But for me, what I get with this one, definitely the citrus notes at the top. I picked up a bit of blackberry at the start, bit more creamier at times, but it's sat close to the skin now, when I think that the original for me is a projector for a good, I'd say 7 to 8 hours. This one I probably got about 3 hours projection, and then it went closer to the skin. Better blended, smoother, bit more woodier, touch smokier, but I think I prefer the original EDP, and I won't be rushing out to get the X-Straight version. So let me know your thoughts on the X-Straight version, if you've bought it, if you've tried it, if you can, you know, how do you compare it to the original? Do you prefer it to the original? But my thoughts are not a bad release from Mancera. I'll probably give it about a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all very soon.